Today, I'm going to reveal the absolute best mixing technique you could possibly use to take your mixes from sounding like this to this. Or from this to this. And if you don't mix rock, how about this?
Ready or not to take the
to this.
We'll go sailing through the sea, so leave your world.
No matter what genre you work in, this technique is going to help you hear your favorite mixes in a completely new way, which in turn is going to help you grow so much faster than watching celebrity mixers mix world-class recordings that already sound great from faders up or a rough mix. Critical listening through referencing. Now, before you click away, I'm not talking about the plain old boring switching back and forth between your mix and a reference track kind of referencing. No. We're going much deeper to find out what makes your favorite songs and mixes work. To do this, we're going to use my brand new critical listening survey, which I've made available for you as a free download in the link in the description below. I highly recommend that you pause the video, go download your copy, and follow along as we look at a mix by one of my favorite engineers, Neil Avron. In this video, we're going to look at the song Melancholy Kaleidoscope by the band All Time Low, but if you don't mix rock, I've got an entire workshop dedicated to this technique where we'll dive even deeper into multiple songs across multiple genres. I'll put that link in the description below for you. That reminds me, this video will absolutely be demonetized because I don't in any way own the rights to this song. So if you would, please drop a like, subscribe, and tick the bell so YouTube will see that you dig this content. Also, tell me the name of your favorite mixing engineer down in the comments. I'm going to study their work and hopefully bring you some content around their mixes and the style of their mixing in the future. Sound good? Let's dive in. All right, so first things first, we're gonna open up the guide. If you have Adobe Acrobat Reader, I'm gonna go open with and choose that option. However, if you download, again, link in the description, check that out. You could just copy and paste from the PDF into Microsoft Word or Pages or whatever your preferred word processor is. I've already gone through this and we're gonna kind of review it as an example of what you'll do when you open up the track. There's some tips and tricks. If you just download the guide and kind of work through it, you'll gain something from it, but dang it, man. I think you're gonna see how I use this, certain plugins I'll pull up, and what I'll do to really analyze a song is going to be huge. So in today's video, we're looking at the arrangement, panning positions, we're talking levels, balances, instruments, and it's key that you're not lazy with it. Let's take our time and let's go through each of these sections, the intro, the bridge, and let's really look for what I'm asking for in the guide. So here you go, right out of the gate, save as. I'm gonna go and I recommend doing this 2, 3, 10 songs. I've got a coaching program I just recently recommended that my students go through for as many as 10 songs, whatever you got time for, and the results have been incredible. They've come back and they've said, wow, what a mind opener for things like arrangement and fundamental in the kick and all that. So enough blabbing, let's go through it. So this song again, All Time Low, Melancholy Kaleidoscope. The mixer was, I put here, musical genius Neil Avron, huge fan of his, big fan of Switchfoot. And Francesca Battistelli and Matthew West, all kinds of artists that he's worked with, from everything from pop rock, country, rock, Yellow Card, you name it. Just a big fan of Neil's. Incredible talent. So here we go. I got the BPM, not as important, but it's cool to know if you got a ballad, a slower tempo, how maybe the kick's going to be a little thicker, a little more elongated, how things might change with reverb and delay. And so that being said, we're moving on. We're looking at in this first section to identify the instruments by section. So intro, verse, breakdown, bridge, chorus 1, chorus 2, that kind of thing. And what some of my students were doing was copying this guide into a word processor and then putting intro, V1, B section. They were elaborating on what I provided here. I just was thinking, hey, let's get the gist of the intro, the vocals, the verse, the chorus, the bridge, final chorus. Those are going to be the ones where you're going to have some pretty significant changes typically in an arrangement. Let's go ahead, let's pull open the track. And for that, I've got the incredible adapter AB. We're going to hit play from the top. Again, it's going to get demonetized, copyright strike. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Would really appreciate it. So here we go. Let's take a listen to the intro, kind of verse 1, and then we'll talk about it.
To hear a sad song, so I
my teeth and sing along. This choir, the coldest hearts echo in the halls. So give a little more gas to burn, and we can fast cut now to the curtain call.
All right, so we're gonna listen to a couple more sections in a minute, but what a masterclass in automation and effects. Neil, you got the delay throws, you got saturation throws. Certain lines are changing up the saturation and the character. Reverb throw. I mean, this thing is just one of my favorites from Neil, recent mix of his. So let's go back to our guide. And just simply put, what are the instruments in the intro? Obviously, we've got drums, we've got bass guitar, rhythm guitars. They're hard left and right, and we've got a lead lick kind of happening. Nothing crazy, nothing fancy. But then in the verse, the drums are going to tighten up. We got a tight hat. Everything kind of dies down. So the dynamics go from punchy in the face, back down, and then the chorus. The first chorus is not like a punchy in the face chorus, but it's going to build back up. So verse, drums, the hat is panned left. I'm a huge fan of drummer's perspective. Nice to see one of my favorite mixers is also. You can't be playing, drums like this when you're rocking out in the car with your headphones in. We got the palm muted rhythm guitars. We have sick delay and reverb throws. Again, just taking note of what we hear in this first verse. The vocals are saturated, and then we also had those saturated throws where you've got certain lines are going to be more saturated than others. I noted here that I love the character and the extra heavy saturation for that last vocal line, the throw there. Let's go to that first chorus, the chill chorus. It may seem pretty simple today, but in the next video, we're going to look at the drums and maybe even the bass. I may break the bass into its own video. Lots to talk about with low end with this tip. Today is maybe a little boring for you, just talking about the arrangement, but we'll get to the next one, and it'll be great. We're going to look at those individual fundamental frequencies, click and the kick, all kinds of stuff.
Melancholy kaleidoscope, it's time. You shake things up and get the picture in your head right. Melancholy kaleidoscope, it's alright. Can't be 100 if you...
Right on. So we have multiple elements, instruments in this section, but take note how they all have their own space. The acoustic guitars they're light and they almost serve like a shaker out left and right. You've got an electric guitar that's very much like, I don't even say half notes. It's kind of plucking along. It's not anything like in your face, and it's super thin. It's not this bold, warm guitar sound. Take a listen right now just for the acoustics. Try to hear those out wide.
Melancholy kaleidoscope, it's time. You shake things up and get the picture in your head.
Perfect. And then you got that snare shuffling. Very chill chorus, right? So let's look at whatever I said here. Chill chorus, percussive acoustics as shaker vibe. We have that shuffling snare. The ghosts are low, the ghost notes, subdivided notes, but you can still hear them hard left and right. So he's got some kind of, I don't know if it's a room sound or just that stereo vibe, that it's not just a centered stare right down the middle. It's got some stereo presence. And then we have a modulated shimmerish pad sustaining over that first chorus. Let's hear that.
It's time. You shake things up and get the picture in your head right.
It's light, very, very faint. And again, nothing thick. We don't got a bunch of bottom end from it. I don't know, do we have bass here?
It's time. You shake things up and get...
What we have, it feels like, is a synth bass, like a sine wave, just kind of sustaining on the bottom end, but it's not super deep. Let's check out another chorus to see where the bass guitar comes in.
Melancholy kaleidoscope, it's time. You shake things up and get the picture in.
And then that kick is just dominating the low end. The bass is not very present. It's not very bold. It's just kind of there, carrying through. Yeah, anyways, great tight pattern, great performance, but very much a kick-driven low end in this. But anyways, just kind of thinking about the chorus there. We had this little interlude before the first big chorus. I love the saturated vocal throws again. Got to dig that right here. So before the big let's back up.
Melancholy kaleidoscope, it's alright. Can't be 100 if you're only giving 95. Hear another fast song. Something to tune out.
Love it. Those effects, that saturated section. Okay, let's go to the bridge, which would be Got that organ-ish pad.
So would you please stand by? Are we out of time? Maybe I'll feel better. Give me 45. Staring at the ceiling, choking back my feelings. Can't be 100 if you're only giving 95.
Man, love that jump for the chorus there. Let me see if I can, yep, there we go. Something I haven't done that I highly encourage you to do, I tell you to do it in the guide, is to write down the panning position for the different elements. In that first section, the guitars were just hard left and right, pretty straightforward. But take note, that lead lick, let's go back and listen. Is it right down the middle? Is it just off to the side? I think you're going to start to notice when you do this exercise, and again, I know today is kind of boring. We're looking at arrangement and elements and things like that. But when you do this for multiple songs, you might start to see a trend that lead is maybe just off to the right in some of your favorite mixes. Maybe it's right down the middle. Maybe it's left with a stereo delay, kind of feel like whatever, right? But just to start to take note of what your favorite mixes are giving you, and that you can then maybe be inspired by that for your own mixes. I get so many mixes that come to me for critique, review. My students in the VIP in the Mix Academy, the membership, and their mixes are mono or big mono. Panning and arrangement is just completely a lost art in the amateur mixer. So what I want to do is encourage you to reference and check out what these mixes are doing so that you can be inspired by their choices. I think you're going to find that having everything symmetrical, I've got ADHD, OCD, I got all the DDs, right? I very much so like things symmetrical, but you're going to find that makes a very boring mix a lot of times. So take note of what your favorite mixes are doing and beg, borrow, and steal. So next up, let's talk about... So the bridge, we said that organ pad sound. We had the acoustic. Felt like acoustic was kind of running through like an amp tone. This is off just to the right. The shuffle drums were back. The percussive taps on the left. We got this kind of percussive rhythm thing happening. And then the vocalist ends the bridge and gets cut off by a bit of a snare. Let me see. Oh, snare automation. A little bit of a kind of a glitch I heard. Happens with some of the best as well. Vocalist ends the bridge and gets cut off by snare automation. Check this out.
So would you please
Down here.
my feelings? Can't be 100 if you're only
Right here.
giving 95. Melancholy, giving 95.
That I don't know if he did it on purpose or if the snare being so hot pushed the bus compressor down and got the vocal out of the way. Small potatoes. Just something I noticed when I was...
Giving 95.
Yeah, that snare comes in and just takes over. And then what else did we say? Sick vocal stutter edits. The delay and verb sound amazing. Let's check that out one more time.
If you're only giving 95.
Where was it?
Staring at the ceiling, choking back my feelings. Can't be 100 if you're only giving 95.
Right on. Remember Boys Like Girls, really big with like the stutter edits and all that kind of stuff. Stutter Edit Pro, incredible tool for that. The final chorus and outro seems to be the same as that first big chorus. You've got the standard power chords, but also there's this high octave. I grew up in the church and worship leader playing music in church, and Hillsong, one of the big church worship bands, they have this kind of... like a 16, 30-second note kind of thing with delayed, and you can kind of chuck along, and the chimey guitar thing, lots of delays. It sounded like a Hillsong-ish style guitar on the right. Let's take a listen to that. Just off on the right.
Kaleidoscope, it's high time. You shake things up and get the picture in your head right. Melancholy kaleidoscope.
You don't hear the individual notes. It sounds a little more sustainy than what like a Hillsong type guitar would have been. But yeah, cool to notice that. I don't hear that in the first chorus. Let's see. Actually, in the intro. Oh, it's a lead lick. Let's see this big chorus.
Melancholy kaleidoscope, it's high time. You shake things up.
Yep, it's a copy paste kind of thing. Let's see, does anything happen at the last chorus that takes it up a notch?
Kaleidoscope, it's high time.
Are there harmonies in this one?
Melancholy kaleidoscope, it's high time.
So there you go. Now you can take note of. You had the first chill chorus. This is the first big chorus with power chords, and there's no harmonies. Maybe there isn't a select.
You shake things up and get the picture in your head right.
You got the lower part. You got the kind of the tenor thing happening, baritone, maybe harmonies. But then at this last chorus, here's this one again.
Melancholy collide.
Now listen to the last one.
95. Melancholy kaleidoscope, it's high tide.
And they're loud, so it's really taking the song up a notch. Whereas, you know, you think, and I hear the stereo bus automation. There's a lift there with the volume. We'll talk about that in another video. But you also get those harmonies that are really just it's just building the story, right? And this final chorus is the biggest chorus.
You shake things up and get the picture in your head right. Melancholy kaleidoscope, it's alright. Can't be 100. Can't be 100 if you're only giving 95. If you're only giving 95. Only giving 95.
Yeah, I love it. So there you go. You got the arrangement. If you look at the guide, again, check it out, free. Link in the description below. And I've also got a link where you can get the added bonus courses and stuff. I got all kinds of stuff. But the guide itself is completely free, so definitely check it out. And then I'll have a couple more videos. In the next video, we're going to take a look at the drums. We're going to look at the kick, the snare, the toms, individuals, some really key things that I noticed about the toms in this track. Was very surprised at a couple of things that I found. So we'll take a look at that in the next video. Hope you dug this, man. Hey, check it out. Link in the description. The critical listening survey here from the Mix Academy. David Glenn, and I'll see you in the next video.